I'm sitting in my dorm room at 2 a.m., and I can't stop thinking about what happened 3 days ago. My roommate Hunter says I'm overreacting. My girlfriend Madison says I need to learn to take a joke. But something inside me fundamentally changed, and I don't know if I can go back. I'm 20, business major at State University on a partial academic scholarship. Madison is 19, communications major, from a wealthy family. We've been dating for 8 months. It's been good, or at least I thought it was. She's outgoing, popular, always has something fun planned. I'm more low-key, working part-time at the campus library to cover expenses my scholarship doesn't handle. We seem to balance each other out. Madison is really into social media. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. She's always filming something, always thinking about content. She has maybe 15,000 followers across platforms and talks constantly about wanting to be an influencer. I've been supportive. I've been in some of her videos, helped her set up shots, given her ideas. It never bothered me because I thought we were building something together. 3 days ago, we were supposed to meet for lunch between classes. I got to the campus cafe where we always meet, and she was already at our usual table. But something was wrong. She was sitting there with her arms crossed, face completely serious. No smile when I walked up. I sat down across from her. "Hey, everything okay?" She looked at me for a long moment, and her eyes were cold in a way I'd never seen before. "Tyler, we need to talk." My stomach dropped. Everyone knows what "we need to talk" means. I said, "Okay, what's up?" She took a deep breath, and I swear there were tears forming in her eyes. "I don't think this is working anymore. I think we should break up." The world tilted. I felt like someone had punched me in the chest. What? Where is this coming from? Did I do something wrong? She shook her head, and a tear actually rolled down her cheek. "It's not you. I don't feel the same way anymore. I think we want different things. You're focused on school and work, and I need someone who can keep up with my lifestyle." I was trying to process this, trying to understand how we went from fine yesterday to breaking up today. "Madison, can we talk about this? If something's wrong, we can work on it. I don't understand what changed." "Nothing changed," she said, her voice breaking. "That's the problem. This relationship isn't going anywhere. I need more. I need someone who's more." That hurt, really hurt. I'm on scholarship because my family can't afford to pay for college. I work 20 hours a week to cover my living expenses. I don't have money for fancy dates or spontaneous weekend trips. And suddenly that made me not enough. I felt tears starting in my own eyes. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I was devastated. I really cared about her. Thought we were building towards something serious. "So that's it?" My voice cracked. 8 months and you're just done?" She nodded, wiping her eyes. "I'm sorry, Tyler. I really am. But yeah, I think it's better if we end it now before anyone gets hurt worse." Too late for that, I thought. I was already hurt, really badly hurt. I stood up from the table. My hands were shaking. I said something like, "Okay, I guess that's it then," and walked out of the cafe. I made it about 50 feet before I had to stop and just breathe because I felt like I was going to throw up or cry or both. I went back to my dorm and just lay in bed for the rest of the afternoon. Hunter came back and asked what was wrong. I told him Madison broke up with me. He said some supportive things and left me alone. About 3 hours later, my phone started blowing up. Messages from Madison. Lots of them. "OMG Tyler, I'm so sorry. It was just a prank. You were supposed to laugh. Babe, come on. You know I love you. Why aren't you responding? You're really going to be mad about a harmless joke?" I stared at these messages in disbelief. A prank. She pretended to break up with me as a prank. I called her. She answered immediately, laughing. "Oh my God, you should have seen your face. You looked like someone died." I couldn't speak for a second. When I did, my voice came out flat. "That wasn't funny." "Of course it was funny. Come on, Tyler, lighten up. It was just a joke. You're so serious all the time. You made me think our relationship was over. You cried. You told me I wasn't enough. But it wasn't real." She was still laughing. "That's what makes it funny. I didn't actually mean any of it. God, can you take a joke?" I told her I needed some space. She got annoyed, said I was being dramatic, that she was just trying to have fun. I hung up. That was 3 days ago. She's been texting constantly, sometimes apologizing, sometimes telling me I'm overreacting, sometimes trying to be sweet and romantic like nothing happened. But here's the thing. Something in me broke during that conversation. When I thought she was breaking up with me, I felt this devastating loss. But now, knowing it was a prank, I feel nothing. Not relieved. Not happy she wants to stay together. Just nothing. I keep thinking, what kind of person thinks it's funny to make someone they supposedly love feel that kind of pain? What kind of person films someone's emotional breakdown because Hunter told me he saw her phone was recording when he walked past the cafe for entertainment? Hunter says I should dump her. My sister Riley, who's a counselor, says this is a major red flag, but Madison keeps saying I'm overreacting, that it was harmless, that couples prank each other all the time. Update 1. Yesterday, I was in the library studying when my phone buzzed. Message from this girl Emma who's in my Psychology 201 class. We're not close friends, just friendly classmates who sometimes study together. The message said, "Hey, I'm really sorry about what happened. Are you okay? That was really messed up." I had no idea what she was talking about. I wrote back asking what she meant. She sent me a TikTok link. I clicked it, and my stomach dropped through the floor. It was Madison's account. The video was posted 2 days ago, the same day as the prank. The caption read, "When your boyfriend can't take a joke, #relationship goals, prank wars, drama." The video was exactly what you'd expect. It started with her setting up the phone on the cafe table. Then me walking up, sitting down. You could see the whole conversation, her telling me she wanted to break up, me getting visibly upset, the tears in my eyes, my voice cracking when I asked what I'd done wrong. And at the end, after I walked away, the camera panned to her face, and she was smiling. Genuinely smiling. Then she winked at the camera and the video cut off. The video had 50,000 views. 50,000 people had watched me have what I thought was one of the worst moments of my life. The comments were a mix of people thinking it was hilarious, and people calling her cruel. She'd responded to some of the comments defending herself, saying it was just for fun, and he got over it. Except I hadn't gotten over it, and now I knew why. Because it wasn't a spontaneous prank that went too far. It was premeditated. She'd set up her phone. She'd planned the whole thing specifically to film my reaction, to get content, to get views and likes and followers. I felt sick, physically sick. I ran to the bathroom and threw up. When I got back to my dorm, Hunter took one look at my face and asked what happened. I showed him the video. He watched it, his expression getting angrier with every second. "Dude," he said when it finished, "this is abuse. You know that, right? This is emotional abuse." I tried to argue that it was just a prank, but even as I said it, I knew it sounded hollow. Hunter pulled up his laptop and started showing me articles about emotional manipulation, about narcissistic behavior, about people who use relationships for social media content. "Look at this," he said, pointing at his screen. "Deliberate emotional manipulation. Using intimate moments for public entertainment without consent. Gaslighting you into thinking your normal emotional response is wrong. Tyler, this is textbook." I called my sister Riley. She's a year out of her psychology master's and works as a counselor at a high school. I told her everything, the prank, the video, Madison's reactions. There was a long silence on the phone. Then Riley said, "Tyler, I need you to listen to me carefully. What she did constitutes emotional abuse. The filming and posting without your consent is potentially harassment. You need to talk to someone at your university's counseling center. Today." I've never heard my sister sound that serious. She's usually laid back, joking around, but her voice was hard and professional. "And Tyler," she added, "you need to break up with her, not because of the prank, because of what the prank reveals about who she is as a person. People who love you don't treat your pain as entertainment." After we hung up, I sat on my bed for a while, just processing. Then I did something I should have done days ago. I looked through Madison's TikTok account properly. There were other videos. Not as dramatic as the breakup prank, but similar. One where she forgot my birthday and filmed me looking disappointed before revealing she'd actually planned a party. One where she told me my favorite shirt made me look bad and filmed me getting self-conscious before saying she was joking. One where she pretended to have lost my grandmother's ring I'd shown her. My grandmother had died 2 months before, and filmed me panicking before revealing she was kidding. Every single one had thousands of views. Every single one had comments from her followers talking about how funny her boyfriend's reactions were, how dramatic I was, how I needed to lighten up. I'd known she filmed content. I'd known she wanted to be an influencer. What I hadn't known was that I wasn't her boyfriend. I was her content. My emotions, my vulnerabilities, my pain, all of it was just material for her social media brand. I called Madison. She answered all excited. "Hey babe, did you see my video? It's doing so well. I told you it would be fun. Take it down." My voice came out cold and flat. I didn't recognize it as mine. "What?" She sounded confused. "Take down the video of me, now. I didn't consent to being filmed. I didn't consent to being posted online. Take it down." "Oh my God, Tyler. You're being so dramatic. It's just TikTok. Everyone pranks their boyfriends. I'm not everyone's boyfriend. I'm yours. Or I was. And you used my real emotions, my real pain, for entertainment. For views. You set up a camera and deliberately hurt me so you could film it. I didn't hurt you. It was a joke." "Madison," I cried. I actually cried. I thought I was losing you. And you were smiling at the camera. Silence. Then, "You're really going to break up with me over this? After everything?" "After everything." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "After everything I've done? I supported your content. I helped you with ideas. I was in your videos when you asked. And this is how you repay me, by making me a public joke. You're just upset because the video shows you being emotional. You're embarrassed." "I'm upset because the person I trusted used my emotions against me. There's a difference." I hung up. Blocked her number. Blocked her on social media. Then I made an appointment with the campus counseling center for tomorrow. Hunter ordered pizza and we spent the evening just hanging out, not talking about it. But before I went to bed, he said something that stuck with me. "You know what healthy relationships look like? They don't involve one person being scared of the other person's pranks. They don't involve being filmed without consent. They don't involve your pain being someone else's entertainment." He was right. I know he was right. I just wish I'd seen it sooner. Update 2. I was in the student union studying when someone sat down across from me. I looked up and saw Cassidy Rhodes, Madison's best friend since freshman year. They're roommates. They do everything together. She looked nervous, fidgeting with her coffee cup. "Hey Tyler, can we talk?" I honestly thought she was there to defend Madison, to tell me I was overreacting or being mean or whatever. I said, "If you're here to tell me to forgive her." "I'm not." She cut me off. Her voice was quiet but firm. "I'm here to show you something. But you have to promise me you won't tell Madison I'm the one who showed you." She pulled out her phone and opened a folder. "Madison has been documenting you since the beginning of your relationship. Not just the TikTok stuff. Everything." She showed me video after video, photo after photo. Private moments I thought were just between us. Me talking about my family's financial struggles. Me opening up about my parents' divorce when I was a kid. Me crying after I didn't do well on an important exam. Me having a panic attack before a big presentation. All of it filmed, all of it saved in a private folder on Madison's phone labeled Tyler Content. I felt like I couldn't breathe. "Why are you showing me this?" Cassidy looked down at her coffee. "Because I'm done being complicit. I've been watching her do this for months, and telling myself it was her relationship, not my business. But after she posted that breakup video without your consent, after I saw how many people were calling her out and she just laughed it off." She looked back up at me. "This isn't okay. You deserve to know." She scrolled through more files. There were text conversations between Madison and her mom, where Madison complained about me being too boring, but said I was good practice for her content creation skills. There were messages between Madison and other influencer friends, talking about how to manufacture authentic moments with partners. There was even a spreadsheet. An actual spreadsheet tracking which types of prank videos got the most engagement, which of my emotional reactions performed best with her audience. I stared at this spreadsheet and something in me just broke. Not broke like before. Broke like a spell breaking. Like waking up from a nightmare. There's more, Cassidy said quietly. Madison had a boyfriend before you. Junior year of high school. His name was Derek. She did the same thing to him. Pranks, filming reactions, posting without consent. He ended up transferring schools because people wouldn't stop bringing it up. She showed me Derek's Instagram. He'd posted about his experience last year, talking about how a toxic relationship had affected his mental health. I read through his posts, and it was like reading my own story. The same manipulation tactics. The same, it's just a joke defenses. The same public humiliation disguised as entertainment. Why didn't you tell me this before? I asked Cassidy. She looked ashamed. Because I thought you were different. I thought maybe with you, she'd actually care about someone more than she cared about content. And by the time I realized I was wrong, you were already in deep. She paused. I'm sorry. I should have warned you. I asked her why she was coming forward now. She said, because yesterday, Madison told me her next prank idea. She was going to stage a pregnancy scare, set up hidden cameras in your dorm room, film your reaction to her telling you she might be pregnant. She was excited about how viral it could go. I felt sick again. That's not a prank. That's just cruelty. I know. Cassidy looked me straight in the eye. That's why I'm here. I have copies of everything. The videos, the texts, the spreadsheet. If you want to report her to the university for harassment, I'll testify. If you want to pursue this legally, I'll be your witness. I'm done protecting her. After Cassidy left, I went straight to the counseling center and asked for an emergency session with Dr. Chase, the counselor I'd seen before. I showed her everything Cassidy had given me. Dr. Chase watched the videos in silence. When she finished, she looked at me with this expression of professional concern mixed with genuine anger. Tyler, this is one of the clearest examples of systematic emotional abuse I've seen in my 15 years doing this job. This isn't a prank that went too far. This is calculated manipulation over an extended period. She explained that what Madison had been doing had a name: narcissistic exploitation, using intimate relationships to feed her need for attention and validation, with no regard for the other person's emotional well-being. The fact that she documented your vulnerabilities and maintained a spreadsheet about your reactions, Dr. Chase said, shows this wasn't impulsive behavior. This was strategic. You were never her partner. You were her content source. She recommended I file a formal complaint with the university's Title IX office. Said that filming someone without consent in intimate or emotional moments, then posting it publicly, constitutes harassment under the Student Conduct Code. I filed the complaint yesterday. Submitted all the evidence Cassidy gave me, plus the TikTok videos, plus my own testimony about the pattern of behavior. The university took it seriously. Really seriously. I got a call this morning from the Dean of Students' office. They're opening a formal investigation. Madison's being called in for a disciplinary hearing. If they find her in violation of the conduct code, she could face suspension or expulsion. Madison doesn't know yet. She's been trying to contact me through friends, through alternate social media accounts, even showed up at my dorm yesterday, but Hunter told her I wasn't there. She thinks I'm just being stubborn about the breakup. She has no idea what's coming. Final update. The university investigation moved fast once they saw the evidence. Cassidy's testimony, Derek's testimony, the documented pattern of behavior. It painted a clear picture. The disciplinary hearing happened 2 weeks after I filed the complaint. I had to testify. So did Cassidy. So did Derek, via video call since he's at a different school now. The board reviewed all the videos, the spreadsheet, the text conversations. They watched the TikTok videos. They looked at the pattern. Madison's defense was what you'd expect. It was just relationship stuff. Couples prank each other. He's just upset because we broke up. But then they showed her the spreadsheet. Her spreadsheet. The one where she'd literally categorized my emotional reactions by engagement metrics. Tracked which vulnerabilities performed best with her audience. Planned future content, based on what got the most views. The board chair asked her point blank, Ms. Pierce, do you understand the difference between a relationship and content creation? She tried to argue that all influencers use their lives for content. That this is normal for her generation. that everyone films everything now. The chair cut her off. Mr. Brooks did not consent to being filmed during intimate, vulnerable moments. He did not consent to those moments being posted publicly. You documented his pain systematically for your own benefit. That's not relationship dynamics. That's exploitation. The ruling came down 3 days later. Madison violated multiple sections of the Student Conduct Code: harassment, non-consensual recording, creating a hostile environment. The university suspended her for the rest of the academic year. She has to complete counseling before she can be readmitted, and there's a no-contact order. She's not allowed to contact me through any means, or she'll face expulsion. But the consequences went beyond the university. Remember how I mentioned Madison had an internship lined up? Marketing position at a mid-sized social media firm for the summer, potentially leading to a job after graduation. It was her dream opportunity, stepping stone to her influencer career. The firm found the TikTok videos, found the ones she'd deleted but people had saved and reposted, found screenshots of her defending the behavior in comments. Their HR department decided that someone who showed concerning lack of empathy and disregard for consent wasn't a good fit for their values-driven workplace. They rescinded the internship offer. Her parents found out. Not from her, from the university notification about her suspension. According to Cassidy, who's since become a good friend, they were initially supportive of Madison, right up until they actually watched the videos and saw the spreadsheet. Her mom called her unrecognizable and said they didn't raise her to treat people this way. They're making her come home for the suspension period. No apartment, no allowance. Her friend group fell apart. A lot of people had suspected Madison was toxic but went along with it because she was popular and fun. Once Cassidy came forward and the investigation went public, others started sharing their own experiences. Stories about how Madison would manufacture drama, how she'd pit friends against each other for content, how everything was always about her brand. She's lost about 12,000 followers since this started. People don't want to support an influencer whose content is built on emotional abuse. Her comments are flooded with people calling her out. 2 weeks ago, she tried to contact me through a fake Instagram account, sent a long message about how she learned her lesson and wanted to talk things through and maybe start fresh when she comes back to school. I screenshot the message and forwarded it to the Dean of Students' office as evidence of contact order violation. I also sent it to Dr. Chase, my counselor, who added it to my file documenting the pattern of behavior. The university added another semester to her suspension. As for me, I'm doing better than I thought I would be. The campus counseling center connected me with a support group for students who've experienced emotional abuse in relationships. Turns out I'm not alone. There's a whole group of us learning to recognize red flags and rebuild trust in ourselves. I've been seeing Dr. Chase weekly. She's helped me understand that what I experienced wasn't just a bad relationship. It was systematic exploitation. That the reason I felt so confused and guilty was because that's what manipulation does. It makes you doubt your own reality. About 3 weeks ago, I was studying in the library when Emma, the classmate who first sent me the TikTok link, sat down at my table. We started talking. Really talking. She told me she'd actually been wanting to ask me out for months but didn't because I was with Madison. We've been on 4 dates. Real dates where we talk about real things and laugh at real jokes and nobody's filming anybody without consent. She's a psychology major like Hunter, passionate about mental health advocacy, and she thinks my emotions are something to respect, not monetize. It's early, but it's healthy, and after Madison, healthy feels revolutionary. Hunter's become my best friend through all this. We started a campus organization called Real Talk that focuses on healthy relationship education and recognizing emotional abuse. We've had 2 meetings so far with about 30 students showing up to each one. Apparently, there's a need for this conversation on campus. Derek and I have stayed in touch. He's doing well at his new school, in therapy, has a girlfriend who treats him with actual respect. He told me that seeing me speak up helped him process his own experience, that knowing he wasn't alone made a difference. Last week, I was walking across campus and saw Madison from a distance. She was with some people I didn't recognize, probably making new friends since her old ones dropped her. She saw me at the same time. For a second, we just looked at each other. I didn't feel angry. I didn't feel sad. I didn't feel anything except relief that she's not my problem anymore.